Live Alive is such an interesting JRPG. It was originally on the Super Famicom and never even came to the States. It was directed by Takashi Tokita, and he was known for his work on Chrono Trigger, and this game actually didn't really sell very well in Japan either, but inspired so much of his work. And it's classified as a remake. I thought this game was honestly a remaster, but no, it's considered a remake, and I finally got around to playing it. Live Alive has this 2D HD style, and it is really beautiful. Now, this is actually the second pixel style JRPG I've played. I've actually not played many of them, so it's kind of new for me in a way. And it was really cool just walking around the areas and seeing how nice some of the particle effects looked, the pixel art. I really liked the way the characters looked. Now, where Live Alive is truly unique is in the way it tells its story. You're going to be playing as a character from all across the ages. You'll go from a fighter from the modern age, you'll go to a caveman, you'll go to a little robot, you'll go to a superhero, to a monk. You know, there's a good batch of characters, and each of their stories is not too long. I want to say around 6 to 8 hours. Through the beginning of the game, this was like a double-edged sword. Each chapter was really cute, and it was nice and small to where you got the story, you got some gameplay in, and it was done. You moved on to the next one. But each of these chapters offers unique music, unique mechanics, unique gameplay, and sometimes it didn't feel like you got to utilize it to its full potential. It didn't feel super deep. But then I was going through the game and I was like, so intrigued. Where is this gonna go? How is this game gonna end? Are all these characters gonna come together? What is going on? The other side, though, is this is really fun because the game has you intrigued the whole time. Where is this gonna go? And you're constantly swapping to new environments and characters. The remake added voice acting, and I do have to say it is pretty incredible. I thought each of the characters had so much personality. Some of them, like Akira, had me laughing my ass off at times. It was just great. Especially for a person that loves battle quotes in JRPGs, some of the battle quotes when you would do these turn-based moves were just fantastic. Speaking of the combat, I really did have a blast in this game. It's traditional turn-based, but you could move your characters around the field, and whenever you do that, the timer goes up above the enemy. When you do abilities, when you move spaces, any of that will raise the timer, and then they initiate their attack. The cool thing about moving your characters around is you can move them in places where the enemies can't even attack you, and they'll just be chasing your ass the entire time. It's great. There's traditional weaknesses, buffs, resistances, all the traditional turn-based mechanics are here, but there definitely is a little twist where each story has its own unique mechanic that will either go towards gameplay or building your team. Now, this is where I was slightly disappointed going through the game because I would get this cool mechanic and I wouldn't get to use it too much. I was like, damn, I want to go way deep into this mechanic, but the stories are too short. Now, wait to the end of the review because I'm going to go over more so how the ending goes. There will be no spoilers, but the game does this for a reason. Whether you enjoy that reason or not and how the game did it is going to be up to the person. I honestly thought it was fun once it was all said and done, but depending on you, you could definitely not like it. All in all, the combat is incredible, especially for a 2D HD remake. The abilities are so fun to watch. They're super eye candy. There's definitely a lot of strategy involved, and I want to highlight the boss fights, especially with the soundtrack. Yoko Shimomura, who's known for her Kingdom Hearts music, worked on this game, and it is just insane. The soundtrack is so crazy. The boss fight theme in particular is so fun, so I just wanted to fight bosses the whole time. Each character has a unique battle theme, a unique town theme, and it was all great. They were very distinct, and each of them slapped. I don't think there was one song in this game where I didn't like. And what's amazing is they have a jukebox. We could go back and listen to all the songs that you've listened to throughout the game. Yoko Shimomura, you always blow my mind with music. It's actually crazy. She is the GOAT when it comes to video game music, in my opinion. It was also cool seeing the unique equipment and funny names they have for each of the stories because it was so distinct. You'd go from the Wild West to a modern age and they have different names for all the equipment, so that was really interesting. Most characters only go to like level 10 or 20. I do wish they went higher and you could just play around in the game and keep upgrading your team, but yeah, the level caps are a little low, basically to go along with the shorter stories each of the characters have. I'm not going to go over each character because I think discovering them for themselves, even their designs, is good to happen for a first-time playthrough. I will go over my favorite, though, who is Akira. I thought his personality was hilarious, and he's like a modern-age lazy dude that has a lot of drive and willpower. It is so funny to watch him just roast the enemies when you kill them. It was one of my favorite things about the game. When each character has their personalities, it really shines. I would like to mention the humor in this game is also really good. There were some things that stood out that made me just laugh or were really weird. Like, they usually don't make jokes like this in some other JRPGs, so that was really funny at times and interesting to see. Now, when it comes to each of these little stories, one thing I should mention is if you don't end up liking the story you're in, you may swap to another one and come back to the same point. Now, the only thing is, if you want to see how the ending plays out, you have to get through all of them. So if you're not having fun in one of the chapters, that really sucks. It's going to be a little bit of a slog to go through it. The good news is I only had one of those and it was very brief. Everything else was so much fun and I enjoyed every bit of the little bit of stories. They basically took a lot of risks when writing this game and how the structure works. Now, I did want to talk about the ending structure, and this is all kind of like theories, but if you want zero spoilers, even the smallest smidge, I would actually get off the video, but I'm basically going to be talking theory. Wondering how this game is going to play out and what happens when you complete each chapter, and if you're going to get to use any of the mechanics, finish leveling up your teams, is all going to come to as you get through your first playthrough. You'll see what happens. Now, this is a little bit of a double-edged sword because this could totally turn someone off or they'll end up loving it. Now, the majority of this game is structured very well, and I think 95% of people who play this are going to have an absolute blast. But there is some where you might not like the structure of this game, and I will say if you're going through it and it doesn't click, it might be hard for it to click throughout the rest of it. The ending portion is like a nice little bow on a gift. This game is a little weird when you get towards the end, and then everything just starts flowing really perfectly together, in my opinion. So perfectly that I want to replay the ending over and over. And there's so much nostalgia and fan service within its own game that I thought it was really interesting. All the mechanics, the combat, and the characters all come full circle when you get to the ending portions of this game. So if you don't like waiting for that certain stuff, or you don't want to wait to use a bunch of mechanics and things like that until the end game, then that could be a problem for you. But I will like to say it is really cool, and the way they did this game is unlike any other I've personally played, and it was really fun. Each story was so much fun though, and so unique that I honestly wish I had 32 individual stories I could go through. I don't think you'll really get bored through them, and the intrigue will be enough to get you through one that you may not possibly like. They made each of the characters as varied and different as they possibly could have. Each of these places through the ages you go through are vastly different from the previous one you go to. This game actually comes with a good amount of content as well. There's super bosses and secret bosses you could find. Now, they're not like extravagant, but they're really cool, and some of them have awesome designs, and they are pretty damn hard. So searching for these super bosses will give you a bit of a challenge. The level design for some of these areas in the stories were also really good in my opinion. There were some shortcuts and little puzzles you had to solve to get to certain areas, and it related to the character's story. Like if you were the shinobi, you're going to be running around trying to get through certain shortcuts and hop through buildings and windows. It's super cool, and you would go around and find like a rope. Having all these items relate to the story and character you have really brings a lot more immersion into the story. All in all though, Live Alive was absolutely fantastic, and for my second pixel-style JRPG, it was such a blast, and there wasn't much hype about this last year. The people that have played it did bring a lot of hype, but I didn't see it around, and considering how good this game was, I'm surprised a lot of people haven't played it. I'm definitely no super expert when it comes to the retro style of JRPGs, but I'm definitely an expert when it comes to a good JRPG, and this game was absolutely fantastic. I have to recommend it. It was cool too because Live Alive was recommended by my girlfriend who loves the game so much and plays a lot of retro games. So being an experience that is kind of new to me made the game so much more fun as well. I love the JRPG genre for this reason. Branching out is pretty easy. You got pixel games, you got action RPGs, you got turn-based RPGs, you have visual novels, SRPGs. There's a whole bunch you could get into, and it was super cool to be introduced to this. What will be my next pixel-style JRPG adventure? The world may never know. Honestly, I'll be playing another one soon, and I can't wait to make a review on that as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Live Alive. If you enjoy my JRPG content or reviews, make sure to subscribe because I'll have plenty more on the way. Every new JRPG that releases or any old JRPGs that I play for the first time will be talked about, discussed, or reviewed on this channel. So subscribing will let you know there'll be plenty more videos on the way. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day or night, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out, guys.